All right, good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Is Wednesday, the 16th of December, 2020. How's everyone? Hello, hello. Hello, hello. So, welcome to a new streaming week, everyone. This is the week before Christmas. 'Twas the week before Christmas. And all through the stream. Alright. I'm not gonna... That's enough for that. But anyway, how's everyone doing? Hopefully you're all doing well. Hopefully you guys had a good day yesterday when I wasn't on stream. Having my day off and doing tons of stuff. And, hopefully you guys are ready for a fun streaming week before Christmas. The main focus of this week is twofold. First of all, I want to get as far as possible in Cyberpunk as well as Yakuza. I want to make some good progress in both games. We're not going to get even close to finishing either game. Let's just be honest here, okay? It's just not going to happen. I know that. These are both incredibly long games, and there's no way that we're going to be finishing them in any capacity anytime soon. But at the same time, I would like to get as far as I can. Reason being is that next week is Christmas week. And with that, there's going to be a ton of festivities, all right, going on. Ton of festivities. 2 completely different days where I'm doing all holiday-themed content. And with 2 days out of my 6 streaming days that are going to be 100% holiday-themed content, obviously I want to make progress in the games that I'm playing, the ongoing playthroughs this week, okay? So that's good stuff, and I hope you guys will join me all this week for the fun. Schedule-wise, it's going to be an interesting mix because the night streams are going to be varied, and we're going to have the return of some really cool Street Fighter stuff this week, which I was doing on the regular for quite some time, and it basically just went on hiatus for a bit. But now it's going to be returning this week, okay, which is good. So let's talk a little bit, everybody. Let's first of all, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is my health, okay? Now, first of all, I told you guys on Monday I had finally made my doctor's appointment, but the doctor appointment for my ear infections that I've been having all year long is not until late January. So I have to wait a month and a half to even see a doctor for this, which is really stupid, but that's American healthcare, is we are stuck waiting for help. Even though I pay a ton of money for health insurance and everything, I'm basically in a situation where I can't get help until they finally have time for me, okay? So the good news here is that right now my ear is getting better. This is actually day 5 of this happening and this medicine regimen. I already took my first dose of the medicine, and I'm looking forward to more later today. Yeah, right. Like I just love putting this medicine in my ear. If you guys didn't know, it's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, right. I hate it, but it's necessary. So the ear's getting better. The pain and the swelling is going down. I can hear, I'd probably say about 80% capacity in the ear, which is good because the past couple of days I could barely hear at all in it. So let's see what happens over the course of today. It might get even better. Okay, now this week there's no way I'm going to be wearing the headphones. I'll be wearing the old Astro A40F headphones around my neck, just like I've been doing the last 4 or 5 days. Until hopefully, this clears up and we don't have this issue anymore. All right, now, even when this clears up and I don't have this issue anymore, I'm not going to be wearing the headphones every single stream. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the use of headphones. I'm going to be using them maybe every other stream if there's a game that I feel is going to benefit me significantly. Or maybe if I'm in the midst of a big-ass AAA playthrough and obviously I want to hear things like the music and everything for the first time, that's when I'm going to be using the 3D Pulse headset. But I'm going to alternate, and for other streams, I'm just going to be using the Astro A40s, open around my neck. And hopefully that's going to reduce the amount of times this is going to happen, okay? Not to say that it's going to cure the problem, but I'm hoping that if I'm not wearing the headphones every day, it'll at least reduce the problem. Because I really do feel that was the root cause of the problem here, is these headphones, these closed ear headphones around my ear, creating this, this very humid atmosphere, that is conducive to breeding bacteria. All right. Now, the other thing is that the people have been saying that there are maybe some alternative solutions. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. Someone said something about bone conductive headphones and stuff like that. I may look into that. But for now, I'm not going to look into that because it's the end of the year and there's a lot of stuff that is going to be coming due very soon. Taxes and the like. And so now is not the time to start buying new equipment and everything. At least not this immediate moment. Okay? But what I'm going to do is just make do with what I've got. So no headphones on my head this week. I'm definitely going to keep that off of my ears. And instead, I'm just going to have the open air A40s around my neck. Next week, possibly, I'll wear some headphones. We'll see what happens. Okay? Now, so yeah, I still got some pain in my ear. It's still a little bit swollen, but the good news is that it's not that bad anymore. And, you gotta hope for the best, obviously. And my hope here is that within, the next 2 days, which that's the end of my medicine regimen, the pain will go away. And of course, the other news is it did not travel to the left ear in 5 days, so I hope it's not going to at all. I mean, there's still a chance it might, but let's hope that it just doesn't, and it's only going to be the right ear that's going to have this issue, and we're not going to have to worry about it traveling and having ongoing bullshit. Okay, because that's exactly what it is. It's bullshit. I'm tired of it. What I'm hoping also is that when I finally do meet this doctor, he's going to finally give me real solutions for this thing. Not just, oh, here, put the same eardrops in again for the 6th time, which is ludicrous that this is what they're telling me to do. There's got to be a root cause to the solution. It can't just be the same Band-Aid put on it over and over and not solving the problem, right? So anyway, now that's really it. There's really no big updates in health. What I can tell you is yesterday during my day off, it was a very hectic day. Of course, it is the holidays. And that means that there's a lot of people out and about hustling and bustling. Doing all their Christmas shopping and everything. Kat and I had quite a lot to do. And one of the things that we did is we went to a liquor store. And I was looking at holiday-themed ales or beers to see stuff that I could drink during my Christmas stream. Which, ladies and gentlemen, is in 1 week. That is right. The actual Christmas event that I'm doing this year is in 1 week. It's going to be me in a holiday festive attire, drinking a variety of stuff, including these holiday ales that I purchased, as well as some eggnog and maybe something else. But I don't want to spoil. It's a little surprise. But also, there'll be a live DSP tries. I'll be playing games, a variety of games, including Black Ops Cold War multiplayer, as well as some Fall Guys, as well as games that you guys are currently nominating, all right? And actually, it's going to be over this weekend that I'm going to sit down and I'm going to read your nominations. And I'm going to determine what games I'm going to be playing during the Christmas event over the course of this weekend, okay? And I'll let you know, probably by Monday, I'll let you know what games you guys are going to see come Wednesday for the Christmas marathon event, okay? It should be a pretty good event. It usually is. This year, since I'm doing a mix between multiplayer stuff, because there's actually multiplayer stuff to play, if you can believe it. So, a mix between multiplayer stuff and some stuff you guys are nominating. I feel there'll be enough variety. It should be a really fun event. Okay? So, that's Wednesday of next week, and that's all day. It's going to start in the morning and continue on, until maybe 7, 8 p.m. Pretty long marathon stream. Okay? Then remember also on Thursday of next week, we've got Ask the King, all right? And that's a holiday-themed Q&A show. So with all that going on, next week there's not going to be nearly as much gaming on the streams as I usually do, which is why I told you guys my focus this week is getting as far in Cyberpunk and Yakuza as I can, because I know there's not going to be a lot of gameplay next week because of the holiday events, and of course I'm taking off Christmas as well, okay? Christmas Day. So, oh my god, excuse me. Oh my god, excuse me. What is happening here? What the hell? It's like I sucked on some helium and it's all coming out now or something. I don't know. Anyway. all that being said, my friends, yesterday was a very busy day for me, but I got some good stuff done, and it's all going to help out with the upcoming Christmas event. So that's good, and I hope that you guys will join me next week for all the Christmas festivities that'll be going on here on stream. You know, multiple days of Christmas fun, as they say. Okay? But I'm back today. So let's talk about what we're doing. And then we got a few news stories that I'd like to talk about today here on the stream before we get started. But schedule-wise, today we start off with Cyberpunk. All right? I played Cyberpunk on Monday night, and again, a mixed bag. You know, I'm doing story-based missions, and the story-based missions are okay. They're not amazing or anything, but at the same time, they're certainly not bad. You know, I think the best part of the game is the story missions because you get the best writing, cool, you know, interactions with the main characters and everything. I tried to do a little bit of side content, and it was pretty hit or miss. Like, some of it, I had no idea what I was even fucking doing. And the game crashed. You know, it's just a mess, this game. And everyone knows that. I mean, it's all anyone's whining and complaining about on the internet is Cyberpunk the past week. You know, and personally, you know, I'm not happy with how the game performs. Obviously, everyone got ripped off here. But the good thing is, Cyberpunk isn't the only game that I'm playing, and it's not a game that I have anticipated for 8 years, like a lot of these people who are playing the game now and are so disappointed, you know? This is a case where I actually didn't hype it up at all. I had zero anticipation for the game. I just waited and played it for what it was, and because of that, you know, I am enjoying portions of the game. I'm going to be honest, I'm not enjoying all of the game. I'm enjoying portions of the game. So, it'll be a major stream today. I'm going to try to do a lot of story-based content. At the same time, there are side missions that have opened up, and I have no idea what is significant or not. And this is one of the major problems I feel with the game, is that there's so lack of polish in this game that they made all this content, but they didn't take any time to actually explain any of it and say if any of it's meaningful. Do I want to do this gun contest mission? Is it going to actually do anything for me, or is it a waste of my time? Do I want to go and try to get these bounty targets, or is it a waste of my time? Because it seems like it could be a waste of time. Some of it I've done, and really you don't get anything for it, besides maybe experience points and a little bit of gear. Big deal. I understand the game's a giant open world game, but maybe I just don't want to do boring content that doesn't add anything to the game. At the same time, people have said if you don't do side content, you get the worst endings. Like, that's great, but what side content? I'm sure the mission where I run into a random base and I kill a bunch of generic assholes probably isn't the significant story content people are talking about, but how would I know? Okay? And that seems to be a major problem with the game. Too much content, not polished, you know? And a lot of people would say, well, what do they say? More is better. Why complain about a game that has so much content? You know, you're getting your money's worth, so why are you complaining? Because the content isn't polished. That's why. I don't care about a game that has 40 million icons on the fucking minimap when only 5 of them really have anything to do with anything interesting, and the rest of it is just fucking filler content. And half the time it crashes and is buggy and doesn't work. You see? So that's definitely one of my criticisms of the game. It seemed like they went for quantity over quality. And that's not a good thing in the modern era. Okay, give me a game with a ton of content, but at least make it all either feel significant or have significance. With Witcher 3, as I said many times, with Witcher 3, every mission that you did kind of felt like a mini story and felt significant. In this game, not so much. I keep getting calls from the fucking bounty hunter every 2 seconds. It's obnoxious at this point that I keep getting fucking phone calls from, what's her name, Regina Jones or whatever. Hey, Regina, shut the fuck up. Maybe I'll call you when I'm looking for work. Stop blowing my fucking phone up. I got actual work to do in the city. I don't want to hear this bullshit constantly that there's some asshole who stole someone's fucking purse and you want me to go catch them. I don't care. All right? Whatever the fuck her name is. I don't know what her name is. I'm probably not even close. That's probably not even close to her real name. But anyway, that being said, all right. So I just said, well, why would you change your number? Yeah, imagine if you could change your phone number in the game to get the bounty hunter to stop calling you. That would actually be pretty funny. It's hilarious, too, because in real life, you could just make them shut the fuck up. Like, in real life, you could just mute your phone, right? You're like, wow, some obnoxious fucking bounty hunter keeps calling me. I'm just going to mute and, not, you know, let him go to voicemail. You can't even do that in the game. Instead, you get harassed by this obnoxious person. But you see what I mean? Like, it seems to me that there's just too much lack of polish. It really feels like the game is just incredibly unpolished. And that's really the major problem is. It's not that the game doesn't have potential to be fun. It does have potential to be fun. It's so annoying when you're trying to play it that half the time you get frustrated. What am I supposed to be doing here? I don't understand. Is this meaningful? What am I doing this for? Maybe I'm just going to go to the story mission because I'm fucking annoyed. You know, and that's kind of my experience. And then in addition to that, the fact that, as I've said many times, the gameplay doesn't feel like anything original or interesting. It just feels like they took stuff from other games and taped it together. It really does. It's Borderlands gunplay with hacking and or exploration looting mechanics from games like Deus Ex, Dishonored, that Thief reboot they did, and driving like GTA. And that's what it is. Like 3 different games that they cut pieces out of and taped it together and said it's our game. Like, well, no, it's not. You just borrowed ideas from everybody else. You know, that doesn't make it a good game at all. It just means that you copied stuff other people did that was successful, and that doesn't make you a good game developer. It just means that you were kind of paying attention to other people's stuff and you kind of bit off of them, right? And that's one of my frustrations with the game is I'm not feeling a single thing that's really original about this game outside of the fact that you're in this futuristic society. Outside of that and the lighting, you know, the neon lighting and everything all over the city or whatever. Outside of that, it's like, I've played this game before. The gameplay elements are boring. I just want the story to advance because that's where the game shines, the good writing. You know, everyone, I think, would agree that CD Projekt Red is really good at writing stories, you know? So that's great, but it doesn't mean that it's a good game. It just means that the story's decent, and that's kind of why I'm toughing through it. Because let me tell you, if the story wasn't decent, I wouldn't be toughing through it and keep playing it. Being honest with you guys, like, if the story wasn't there to keep me hooked, I don't know why I would keep playing it when it just feels so boring. So let's see what happens today. I'm gonna go for some story advancement, and hopefully that'll keep us entertained. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So this is the very first stream of today, the continuation of Cyberpunk. Now, later tonight, I'm going to be doing some Assassin's Creed Valhalla. For those who've been following that playthrough, I am in a side content area that's very challenging because it's Asgard, which doesn't really exist, okay? So, Asgard doesn't really exist, right? But, you're in that area in the game, and you might be saying, what? Well, yeah, it actually exists in the game as a side content area, which, yes, is kind of weird, because it's not a real place, and historically, or I'd say, usually, Assassin's Creed tries to remain at least semi-historically accurate. Of course, they always have artistic liberty, but they try to, okay, this is part of history or whatever. I don't understand how exactly this is part of history. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't. But it's been fun, and there's a crazy-ass boss fight I'm doing right now against a giant wolf, and it's kicking my ass like it's Dark Souls. Okay, so it's pretty annoying. And I'm trying to pass this segment, and I haven't been able to yet. So we're going to see what happens later tonight. And if I can't pass it, I can just go right back to the main game, because you can leave this Asgard area at any point. You don't absolutely have to do it up front. Excuse me. So, yeah, we'll see what happens tonight with that, but I am continuing on with that playthrough. Much to some people's chagrin. Every day when I play Assassin's Creed, I see someone on stream and says, man, this game sucks. I don't know why Phil is playing it. They're like just constant complaining that the game is bad, and they have no idea why I'm playing this game. Well, I'll tell you, there's a few reasons why I'm playing the game. The first is because it was a new release over a month ago, and paired along with Yakuza 7, it was a good balance for variety. And I wanted to see, it's been 2 years since an Assassin's Creed game, I wanted to see what they had done with it, right? Like, it didn't necessarily mean just because the past few Assassin's Creed games have pretty much been cookie-cutter kind of deal, didn't mean this one was going to be it, alright? And admittedly, does the game have a lot of similarities from previous Assassin's Creed games, the last two? Of course it does, I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, it does do some things differently that are entertaining, I would say. So that being said, I am continuing on with this, and even though a lot of people are complaining about it and saying it's not a good playthrough or whatever because they don't like the game, it's not me they're complaining about, it's the game. I'm going to keep going as a night stream. I'm probably going to be playing it twice a week as a night stream. At least to get some progress in this game, okay? So, that's tonight. It's Assassin's Creed tonight, just so you guys know. Tomorrow, Yakuza 7 will go back to being the main gameplay stream, and that'll be fun. We got a lot of advancement recently in Yakuza 7, both plot-wise, as well as upgrades for our characters, where I got a new character, Eri, and so we have a full party again, which is great. And, you know, we're going to continue on with the story and everything. It's been really good. There's actually a whole new segment of side content just opened up. So I'm excited for that tomorrow, excuse me. Tomorrow night, it'll be a fun Black Ops Cold War multiplayer session, late night stream. Hope you'll join me for that. And then on Friday, more Cyberpunk is the main gameplay stream. And then the late stream is going to be the return of weekly late night throwback Street Fighter sessions. All right. As you know, I really enjoyed doing late night throwback Street Fighter stuff over the course of this year. It was a staple of my streams. People came to expect that on Friday nights it was time for old school Street Fighter fun. As buggy as that version is, meaning, you know, lots of lag, lots of issues with matchmaking and the like, it was still super fun to play it over the course of the year. And I definitely want to keep that up. I haven't done it in almost 2 months now, so I basically want to bring it back. But we'll see what happens. You know, I don't know if it's going to work on PS5. It would be nice if it did, so I could use my joystick on PS5 or whatever. If it doesn't, then I might have to go back to PS4. I guess we're going to find out. But anyway, so yeah, that's going to be Friday night coming back. And then the weekend is just going to be a balance between, Yakuza and Cyberpunk on the main streams. And then we'll probably have more Assassin's Creed, and we'll probably have more Black Ops Cold War stuff as the night streams. So, there you go. And then I already told you about next week. Next week is the double holiday event. When I come back from my break on Wednesday, it'll be the marathon. On Thursday, it'll be Ask the King. And on Friday, I'm not going to be here. So you mean Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, those are 3 days when we're not going to have any advancement, either in Cyberpunk or in Yakuza, which is why I wanted to play as much as I can this week of those games, because I know there's going to be kind of a half-week hiatus next week, right? So hopefully, you guys will enjoy this next week, the lead-in to the Christmas festivities, okay? Now, please remember, guys, these Christmas festivities are interactive, and you have opportunity to help formulate what's going to be in this event, okay? If you type !Christmas into the stream chat right now, that is going to give you the opportunity to nominate the games that I'll be playing during the Christmas event, okay? So I hope you guys will join me for that, and I hope that you will nominate games for that. Your games, you know, the games that you nominate are going to help dramatically form that event outside of the multiplayer stuff that I'm playing during it. All right. Also, if you type !Ask the King into the stream chat, that's going to allow you to post up your questions for the holiday-themed Ask the King that I'm doing the day before Christmas. Okay? So, please do that. The more questions that I get for my Q&A shows, the better those shows are. So I hope that you will do that. Okay? All right. Aside of that, I'm just trying to think if there's any other odds and ends I want to mention here on my stream before we get to anything else. Let me think about this for a second. No, I think that pretty much covered all of it. I'm pretty confident that covered most of it. So, what I'd like to do now is thank all of you for all of your support. Thank all of you for being an awesome audience and hanging out with me on a daily basis. Ladies and gentlemen, as you well may know, all right, I am an independent. What that means, okay, is that I do not have any sponsorship with anybody, okay? I do not have any affiliations. I don't get paid to stream on Twitch, okay? This very much is my hobby as well as my job. I love gaming, and I love sharing my honest opinions with you on a daily basis because I don't have sponsorship and because I don't answer to anyone. it actually allows me to be honest with all of you about a lot of things, okay? To put out honest content for you guys when otherwise I wouldn't be able to, all right? And I really enjoy that, and I appreciate that I'm able to be an honest content creator with all of you guys, okay? So I hope that you appreciate that, and I hope that you enjoy that, and you guys are the reason why I'm able to do that, because it's through your support, right? Your crowdfunding efforts that allow me to be an honest content creator, all right? Because you guys are the ones that support me and allow me to continue to do what I love. You know, that's the reason why I can keep doing this the way I do it. So thank you for that, all right? That being said, you know, I rely on you guys to actually crowdfund the streams during the live streams. So, if you like the content, if you like the fact that I'm an independent, and you like the fact that I don't pull punches, I'm honest with you when I play games, I'm not doing any paid advertisement or shilling. Instead, it's just honest me telling you what I really think about the games that I'm playing. If you enjoy that and you want to see it continue, I would ask that you consider contributing to the streams, especially now during the holiday season. It's a great way to say thanks during the holidays, or to help out a fellow stream viewer as well, and I'll explain some ways that you could do that in a moment. But anyway, yes, if you either cheer with bits, or you subscribe to the channel, or you tip me, those are all ways that can help out significantly and allow me to continue to do what I love here, all right? If you do any of those things today, I'll give you a shout out during the live stream, as long as, you know, you don't send me some kind of a nasty trolling message, whatever you say, as long as it's within reason, I'll give you a shout out. I absolutely love interacting with my fans. This is a way of me saying thank you, and I really appreciate everything you guys do for me. Now, one thing I want to say in advance, all right, contributions are not mandatory, nor are they expected. All right, I consider that if someone contributes to one of my streams, that you're going above and beyond being a standard stream viewer, and I really appreciate that support that you guys give me. I hope you guys know that, okay? So, thank you for everything. You guys are the reason why I'm still here, and you guys are the reason why I'm able to do what I love for a living, and I really appreciate that. So thanks in advance if you are thinking of contributing. Now, if you are thinking of contributing, one of the best ways you can do that would be to tip me. If you tip me, those are funds that I can use for things immediately that are important, and I appreciate anyone who does tip me, because that is a way for me to, you know, afford daily stuff that comes up. So thank you for that very much if you're considering tipping me. We actually have goals on the stream, celebratory goals, in regards to levels of tips that I receive. Okay, if I get $50 in tips on today's stream, I'll put on the Gunner glasses. If I raise $100 in tips on today's stream, I will put on a vest. Now, the last vest I wore, oh man, it was many days ago, and I'll be very honest with you, I can't 100% remember what vest it was. I think the last vest I wore was the red vest. I think. Man, if only I could remember. Let me think about this. What the hell is this? Someone just spammed a bunch of shit in the stream chat. I don't even know what it was. It looks messy. Alright. So anyway, I'm pretty sure the last vest that I wore was the red vest. So that means today all the other vests would be eligible. The beige, the blue, the gray, the camo, and of course, the viewer favorite, the platinum vest, is also available for me to wear today. So if you tip, thank you in advance. You know, I'll be doing a running tally, let you know if we hit any of those goals. All right, much appreciated. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. I think I covered everything, right? All right, let's get to some of the news that I want to talk about today. All right, so the first news story that I want to talk about, of course, you guys know it's going to be about Cyberpunk, because that's all anyone's talking about in gaming right now. People won't shut up about Cyberpunk, which I understand. It's the newest game. It came out a week ago, and everyone's pissed about it, that it sucks so bad. At the same time, I swear some people are just going to town on this game just for the sake of piling on so they can get clout on the internet. You know, you see people posting up something like a video clip of Red Dead Redemption 2, you know, a game that came out, what, 2-3 years ago or whatever, and they're like, behold, a game that's a giant open world game and it runs well on last gen consoles. Here's a video clip of it. And you'll watch it, be like, okay, so what's your point? Like, okay, so you want to rag on Cyberpunk, I get it, but your point doesn't even make sense. Red Dead Redemption 2 was a game that was designed for that console. You know what I mean? Like, it's obvious when you're playing Cyberpunk that at some point during development, they changed it up and they made it so that it was supposed to be for next gen and PC, and then it was an afterthought to have it working on the older consoles. Red Dead Redemption 2, number one, didn't even have a PC port, okay? No PC version of the game, only running on consoles. That dramatically cut down on the amount of dev time that they needed to do because they didn't have to have it be compatible with a million other things. And basically, the focus was to make it run on Xbox One and PS4. Now, if you had a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One Series X or whatever, it ran slightly better, but that wasn't even the focus of Rockstar. They were just focusing on making the base game work on the base console. Like, that was their outright focus. So what is your point when, what is your point when you're telling me that that game runs better on original PS4? There was a game, it's a completely different situation. Like, it doesn't even make sense, but that's what I mean. People aren't willing to consider, they're not willing to compare apples to apples. In this case, Cyberpunk is this very unique situation, all right? Because this game came out at a time when you had a last-gen console experience, a middle-gen console experience, and a new console experience, plus a PC version of the game. So this game had to be ported a bajillion times to run differently on each hardware layout and everything. And, by the way, I'm not defending CD Projekt Red here at all. I think that the game runs horribly, and there's no excuse for that on certain versions of the game, and the game crashes on all of the versions of the game. But if you're going to insult CD Projekt Red, at least do it right. At least call them out for something that makes sense. Don't link a fucking game that's 2-3 years old that was developed pretty much specifically for one console, all right? And then you're going to tell me that this is like an apples to apples comparison when it's obviously not. All you're doing is you're clout chasing on Twitter, okay? And I'm seeing a lot of it. I'm seeing a lot of people, they're still fucking talking about it. Judging because of this, I will never pre-order a game ever again. And it's hilarious. Some people are actually saying the same shit that I've said all along. Well, because of this situation that happened with CD Projekt Red, we can no longer trust early reviews. Instead, what we're going to have to do is just wait for the games to come out, wait for those day one patches, play the games ourselves, and then make judgment. No shit. Isn't that exactly what I've been saying all along? That early reviews are worthless. They mean nothing. You're not playing the real version of the game. All an early review is essentially a paid advertisement. That's it. You don't need them anymore. We don't need to have early copies of games be sent out to reviewers anymore, or content creators, or influencers. They just need to wait and buy the fucking game for themselves, play it at launch with the actual day one patches instituted, and go from there. The thing that really blows me away are these games that have multiplayer aspects, right? How could anyone responsibly review a multiplayer game before the game is released? You're not playing the actual multiplayer experience everyone's going to get. You're playing an early version on a fucking, probably a beta server with a limited player base. You have no idea if that's going to be representative of what players will actually be seeing when the full retail version comes out. There have been games that the early review says the game is great, and then the game comes out and it's actually absolutely terrible in multiplayer because the servers are bad, they can't handle capacity, etc. How is that fair to the people who ran out and bought the game because the early review said it was great? I've only been saying this forever. Now all of a sudden, because of Cyberpunk, somehow this is coming to light amongst people. It's like, yeah, maybe if you weren't fucking so unable to control yourselves, because that's really what it comes down to. People get so built up with hype, they can't control themselves. Oh my god, I absolutely need to fucking get this game right now at launch. No, you don't. You can wait like a day or two, and then you can see if it's actually good or not. All right, but anyway, I digress. This is what's going on Twitter right now. But there are two things specifically going on with CD Projekt Red. The first is a follow-up to a story that I talked about on Monday. Now, on Monday, I told you guys that overnight, that was like Sunday night into Monday, that CD Projekt Red had come out and tweeted apologizing publicly. Okay? Apologizing publicly and saying, we screwed up. We absolutely should have taken more time to work on the console version of the game. It's our fault, okay? And we're taking responsibility for it, so we recommend that you seek a refund. We recommend that you seek a refund for this game, because we know that it runs like shit, especially if you bought it on PlayStation 4, Xbox One. So if you want to get a physical refund, come to us and we'll try to help you, because a lot of stores won't accept physical refunds at all of video games. And if you bought the game digitally, you know, you go, please, by all means, go to Sony and Microsoft and seek a refund. So by posting that up, all right, by posting that up the way that they did on their Twitter, it made it sound like CD Projekt Red was fessing up to the fact that they were irresponsible with this game. They falsely advertised it, and they were basically going to enable that everyone was going to be able to get a refund. That's what it sounded like. So everyone went and tried to get a refund, and guess what happened? They all got denied. Seriously, first of all, no retail store is going to give you a refund on this game. Retail store policy has always been the same when it comes to physical video games. If you bought it, you can only exchange it for the same game. Because what's to stop someone from buying a video game, bringing it home, playing it and beating it in 2-3 days, and then returning it? So now you get a free game, essentially, right? So no retail store is going to allow you to do that. So people are writing CD Projekt Red and saying, can you help me with this? All right? Digitally, people who are trying to get refunds are being completely denied. Sony is coming out with a response. Well, if you read CD Projekt Red's full statement, they claim that there's going to be new patches coming out for this game in January and February. So we recommend you just wait for those patches. Refund denied. We're not responsible for their screw-ups. Wow. Well, that's a far cry from what CD Projekt Red was basically saying in their tweet Sunday night into Monday. They made it sound like, you know, we recommend you're going to get that refund. You're no problem. Go get it. More power to you. Please get your money back. And if people go to do it, and Sony's like, nope, we never said you could do that. Right? Now, people who try to get the refund from Microsoft, it's even worse. They don't even get a response. They just go, bloop, denied. And then you can't even reapply for it. Once you're denied a refund once, I guess you can't even, like, reapply for it or some shit. So, basically, people are getting completely screwed over. They were told by CD Projekt Red, yes, go get a refund. So people tried, now they can't get it. Now, how do you think that makes them feel? Right? Even more betrayed by CD Projekt Red. So then there have been these, I guess, I don't know if it's like Reddit threads or whatever, but the game devs just keep talking. It's really the head of the studio keeps talking about the game to people and admitted, oh no, we don't have any special arrangements with anyone for anyone to get a refund. I was just trying to say on Twitter, oh, just go try to get your money back, then you definitely deserve it, but I have no power to sway anyone to actually give you your money back. So the whole apology on Twitter was worthless. They admitted fault, but then basically said, we're powerless to help you. We already ripped you off. Tough shit. You know, it's fucked up. So not only did they screw everyone over by selling a buggy mess, but now they're not going to try to even help anyone get their money back for it. Right? It's just like, you know, insult added to injury, you know? So, people really don't like CD Projekt Red right now. All right, they absolutely hate this company. They can't believe it was hilarious. So people are, you know, saying, "Wow, it took companies like EA and Blizzard, Activision, right? It took these companies about a decade to fall out of favor with gamers, and for gamers to finally see what they are at face value and start disliking them. It took CD Projekt Red 4 days. 4 days. 8 years of anticipation, a completely botched launch of a game, you know, a game that doesn't even live up to the promises of what it was supposed to be, even when it does function. And the fact is that it doesn't really function that often. And then them coming out and publicly apologizing, saying, oh, we screwed up, get your money back. And then saying, wait a minute, we didn't say that you actually were going to be able to get your money back. Well, I guess we were just trying to be hopeful that maybe you could. Holy shit, man. So people are still freaking out about this. It's still the biggest thing trending everywhere about video games. Everyone's talking about how Cyberpunk is a huge embarrassment, okay? But on top of all that, how many of you know this game distribution service? It's called GOG or GOG.com. I'm not sure how to pronounce it because I've never actually used it, okay? But apparently, from what I understand, it has ties to or is owned by CD Projekt Red, okay, which I didn't know. From what I understand, this is an alternative distribution service for PC games. You know, you got Steam that everyone uses, but then you've got this alternative one, GOG or whatever it is. It's called Good Old Games. See, I don't know. Someone says it actually stands for Good Old Games. I didn't know that. Okay, good old games it is then. Okay, so this store apparently now also is being slammed today. I guess the story is there's this game called Devotion. And this game called Devotion is made by a Taiwanese game development studio. Wow, that's a rarity. How often do you hear about a Thai video game? Not very often, right? From all reports, from people who actually had a chance to play the game, which is apparently at this point is very few, and I'll explain why in a moment. Apparently, the game's really good. It's a survival horror game. It's like a lot of scares and stuff. Okay? So, that being said, this game supposedly was supposed to be available on GOG.com. They made an announcement about it overnight and said, yes, this will be available, you'll be able to get it. Now, apparently this is a big thing for people because right now you can't get the game on Steam at all. There's really no way for gamers to access this game on PC at all. You can't buy it. And so to find out that this is going to be on a digital distribution service is actually a really positive thing. People were excited for this. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Did I said, oh my God. I said Thai, because I'm an idiot. It's Taiwanese, not Thai. Thai would be Thailand. Yes, you're right. Go ahead and call me out, because I'm stupid and I said something dumb on the stream. That's definitely something stupid I just said. It's not a Thai game. It's a Taiwanese game. I said the wrong word. So my bad. How often do you hear about a Taiwanese video game? Almost never, right? So anyway, you might be saying, well, what's negative about this? This is a positive. They're going to offer the game on their service. It's not on Steam. People will be able to play this Taiwanese game for the first time, right? Well, within hours, not even like a day, within hours of their announcement that they were going to offer this game on GOG.com, GOG.com updated their statement and said, well, we reviewed the situation, and after receiving messages from numerous gamers, we've decided we're not going to offer this game anymore. What? So come to find out, now I didn't know actually anything about this, okay? I didn't know anything about this at all. Apparently what's going on with this game, the reason it's not available anywhere, is because, for those who don't know, Taiwan has a lot of issues with China, okay? China doesn't really like Taiwan that much. Taiwan, I believe, is in a political issues with China. It wants to be independent, but China feels that Taiwan is part of China, and therefore it should do everything that China wants. You know, and I don't really 100% understand the full situation here. All I know is it's a political thing that basically China doesn't feel that Taiwan should have the ability to make its own independent product. It should be under the same rule as the rest of China, and it shouldn't be playing by special rules or whatever. So people are basically going crazy. Well, China's going crazy whenever Taiwan tries to do something like this. Oh, they made a game. We don't want them to be able to make any money or anything like that, right? It's so confusing because Taiwan is supposedly part of China. So you would think, well, if it is, that would be like saying, you know, Texas wants to do stuff differently from the rest of the United States, right? They don't want to abide by the same commerce laws and everything. So they're just going to do their own thing and ignore the federal laws of the United States. I guess the United States would probably have an issue with that because it's one of the states or whatever. But at the same time, I guess Taiwan has some kind of independent status. Like, this is the problem with world politics. You start scratching your fucking head. You're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Okay? So all I know is that China doesn't like Taiwan, and Taiwan does not like China. Although technically they are both China. They're different. Okay? So basically it's a bunch of sour grapes between the two. And so what does this have to do with anything? So this game Devotion, made by a Taiwanese game studio, was going to be on GOG.com, and the speculation here is, within hours of that announcement, China contacted GOG.com behind the situation and said, hey, how dare you? We already got this taken down off Steam like 2 years ago, you know, and they listened to us. Who do you think you are? What kind of relations are you having with China here? You know, that you're going to have these traitors to our country sell their game on your website. Like, what's your problem, man? You got to listen to China, bro. Oh, here we go. we're going to get our answer now. We're going to get some political answers. We're ready for the history lesson? Because Jadef just cheered. He says, 70 years ago, holy shit, there's a democratic civil war between the government and the communists. Communists won the mainland Big China. Democrats moved to a small island now called Taiwan's Republic of China. Oh, brother. This would be like if there was a bunch of, I guess, like, people who seceded from the United States or something, and they wanted to start their own shit, but then the United States would constantly be in their shit. It's just so confusing. It really is. So anyway, basically the speculation here of what's going on is that, sadly, this company made a game that they can't sell. Because every time they try to sell it somewhere, China, mainland China, complains. They go to Steam, they go to GOG.com, and they whine and bitch and say, man, how dare they make a game, you know, they should be part of us and we should be making money on this shit. They have no right to actually have business outside of anything that we approve, and therefore, you better shut that down. Now, in reality, we don't actually know. We don't know the truth of the matter of what really happened, because I'm sure we're not going to get any hardcore evidence of what communications really went down. But it is kind of fishy. Why on earth would GOG.com announce that they're going to distribute a game, and then within hours of it, take that back? Like, what? Obviously something happened here, right? And you got to wonder what it is. Maybe GOG.com depends heavily on China for business. Maybe the people in China buy a lot of games off of there or something. And maybe with the fact that Cyberpunk just tanked their whole fucking business because apparently GOG.com is owned by CD Projekt Red or has a, legal affiliation to it. I guess what we're speculating here is they're in such dire straits because of the whole fiasco, right? The whole fiasco of Cyberpunk. They can't afford to possibly lose any more money. Okay? Some people in the stream chat are actually telling me right now the game has anti-Chinese sentiment in it. Like, I guess there's this meme that I guess the leader of China looks like Winnie the Pooh or something, and so they put a Winnie the Pooh reference in the game as a way to, like, dig at the leader of China, and therefore they're pissed at that or something. I can't, again, this is all world politics shit that is way over my head. That's just hilarious. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I know nothing about this at all. I don't. I'm just, all I know is it's very fucking confusing. And it's silly to me that games are being announced and then pulled and announced and pulled. Like, what? You would think right now CD Projekt Red would be a little bit careful and skeptical about what they're doing. You would suspect that they would be smart about this, right? That they'd be like, all right, maybe this isn't the best idea to be doing this because we're already in really, really bad standing with everybody. Everyone's upset with us, right? Because of what happened with Cyberpunk. So maybe we should not be doing this kind of stuff. And then they do it anyway. So, I don't know. What a mess, right? What a friggin' mess. I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. I don't know what the hell is happening. But anyway, that's really the only gaming news that I'm aware of. I've been looking at trends and stuff, and that's about it. Nothing super exciting going on or anything in regards to developments of games or anything like that. So, this is to be expected. This is the end of the year. It's Christmas time. Some studios have closed down. It was funny. Insomniac just sent out a message. Insomniac Games, so the makers of Spider-Man Miles Morales. They're the ones working on Ratchet and Clank for PS5. So they sent out a nice Happy Holidays message to everyone. They say, Happy Holidays, everyone. FYI, our studio's closing for the immediate future. We'll be back in 2021 with information about our games, but we're out of here for the holidays. Have a good one. Great. It's good to hear that studio is not going crazy here, right? And these people will be able to celebrate the holiday with their families or whatever. So they made this announcement, and a lot of people are basically kind of laughing. They're like, so what's the difference between a company like this, who basically has good management, and, all their projects are on time and everything's working out well, versus these companies who now have to sit here over the holidays and crunch like crazy, right? Like, again, CD Projekt Red, do you really feel anyone in that company is going to get any kind of rest over the holidays? They're going to be working like ultra overtime because this game is a piece of shit and it's tanking their company, you know? But that is good that one company is obviously doing it somewhat right, and that their employees are actually able to enjoy the holidays. It's good news. All right. I forgot to mention Among Us is on the Switch. I mean, that's not really gaming news for me. That's, you know, a virally popular party game is coming to Switch. Well, I mean, honestly, that's a good thing because that's a lot of people who play Switch. That's the kind of game they like, right? In fact, I would say the Nintendo consoles usually are where those kind of party games flourish. So that's a good thing that it's coming to Switch, but I don't care about that. Doesn't affect me. That's why it's not gaming news for my stream. Right? Okay. All right, guys. That's about it for the news roundup. Let's do some shout outs. All right, now. Oh man. Let me refresh because I didn't refresh. And I want to make sure that I have all the current information. By the way, yes, we did dip in subs significantly. If you haven't noticed, the past couple of days, we now lost about 100 subs to the channel, and that's perfectly fine. It was to be expected that was going to happen. That's not any shock or surprise at all that happened. Remember, there was a lot of gifted subs last month, and that was so that we could hit the sub goal, so we could actually do the Christmas event this month. So this is not, I'm not concerned about it. But hey, by all means, you guys want to subscribe. You get access to so much awesome stuff here on the channel, including over 40 emotes and a cool chat crown badge. And, you don't have to watch ads when I run them. It's a great time to subscribe right now, especially with the holiday festivities coming up, right? Or you want to help out your fellow stream viewer. I mean, 'tis the season of giving. You want to gift someone a sub and help them out on the channel, by all means, please do. I'm sure it would be much appreciated. I mean, people love being in the spirit of giving this time of year, right? Well, all right. Okay. Golden Colts cheered. He says, did you hear an audio clip of Tom Cruise screaming at staff at the set of Mission Impossible 7 for standing too close to each other despite COVID going on? What's your take? Who's in the wrong here? I heard it. I did because it was on social media. And Tom Cruise has a history of basically kind of like losing it a little bit when it comes to certain things. Whenever things aren't going his way, sometimes he goes nuts. I've seen video clips myself of him kind of losing it publicly when people were like trolling him and shit out in public. Personally, I don't know the guy. Obviously I don't know how he really is in real life. Maybe you're only seeing the worst of him in some of these clips that they show of him. But just objectively listening to the clip, you basically hear two things, all right? You hear that, number one, obviously, this guy really cares about his movies. Because, keep in mind, he produces a lot of his own movies. That means it's not only is it his work, like he's hired as an actor for that movie, but he's actually, got a significant amount of his own money and time invested in a movie. So I think this movie is Mission Impossible 7 that he's working on, which is ridiculous to think that they're still making these. Jesus Christ. The first one I saw was in like the mid-90s in theaters, and they're still making these movies like 25, 30 years later. But anyway. So he basically, if he's producing the movie, which he is, he's one of the major producers of this movie. All right. He has the right to do whatever the fuck he wants. It's his money, right? Like, this is 100% his baby. And imagine if you're trying to do something and you find out that your staff are fucking around and are going to not only possibly pass around sickness, right? Get people sick, but also it's a giant concern for Hollywood. Let's be honest right now. The world is screwed with this COVID thing, all right? Hollywood in particular has been devastated. Entire studios are closed, shuttered. Productions of movies and television are destroyed. It's very limited what actual work is going on in Hollywood right now, and this used to be multi-billion-dollar industry, and every movie theater is closed. All right, I take that back. Not every movie theater, but a lot of movie theaters here in the United States are completely closed. You can't even go to the movies to watch a movie right now if you wanted to. So the fact that somehow Tom Cruise has gotten the ability to make a film during this pandemic situation is actually staggering. I've heard horror stories from people trying to make movies right now where everyone's getting sick. What's his name? James Patterson or whatever, right? Was making the Batman movie. And apparently either he got COVID or someone on the set got COVID, and the whole thing's closed down now. You know? So this is a big, big concern. And the only way that people are going to be able to continue to make entertainment like movies and stuff is if they follow very strict guidelines. Did I say James Patterson? I meant to say Robert Pattinson. It's Robert Pattinson, right? I said James Pattinson. Isn't that an author? I got him confused. Anyway, that being said, it's very hard, I'm sure, to even get permission to be making movies right now. Okay? So imagine this is your baby. Somehow you worked magic, right, to get permission to actually make a movie during the pandemic, and your staff are fucking around. They're standing too close. They're not wearing the protection. You know what I mean? And if someone, you know, God forbid, an official comes in there who's supposed to be keeping track of the movie industry and sees that they're not following the protocols, and he shuts the whole thing down, right? It could happen. And I think that's what happened here is Tom Cruise, you know, busting his own ass to try to make this movie could happen. And it's funny because if you listen to the entire clip, I think that it comes off both insightful but also pretentious. All right, so basically what Tom Cruise says is, listen, you have to understand something. We're one of the few, you know, who are actually able to make the industry work right now. A lot of people right now are out of jobs. They're losing their houses. They can't pay for their kids to go to school. You know, they can't do anything because the industry's destroyed. We're lucky to be able to be in this industry, and I have a lot of responsibility on my shoulders because all of you guys who are working for me and all the people who are going to distribute this movie and sell this movie are all going to make money on it and be able to make a living. And when you guys are here fucking around and not doing what you're supposed to do and acting like COVID's a joke, you can get it shut down, and now all those people who rely on this movie to come out to make a living are going to get screwed over because of your irresponsibility. Okay? So I honestly kind of, I actually understand that. That actually makes sense to me. Here's a guy who probably had to completely change the way that things are done in Hollywood to make this movie get made, and he's got fucking irresponsible crew dicking around, and they're going to get him shut down, right? That would be pretty angering to me too. All right. At the same time, though, you know, when you listen to Tom Cruise, he does sound a little pretentious. Like he thinks he has this like God complex almost. Like, oh, because I'm making this movie, I'm like God's gift to Earth, and man, you know, this is gonna be so amazing that I'm gonna give people jobs and everything, man. And now you're fucking with the good that I'm doing. It's like, dude, you're making Mission Impossible 7. It's, you know, you're not making some meaningful movie. You're making some crappy action flick, you know? It's a little different, all right? So it's funny because people in the stream chat are saying, well, it's because he's a Scientologist. Well, of course, everyone's going to have a different opinion on that. Certainly, I've heard some very negative things about Scientology and how crazy some of the things that they say and do and believe, and some of the actions they take against people who don't like them and shit. Pretty nuts. I can't attest to that. All I know, I saw one documentary that made them look awful, and I was like, holy shit, if even a quarter of what it was said in this documentary is true, this is crazy, batshit stuff. And maybe that is it. Maybe because he actually thinks that he's like some powerful being, you know, important to the earth, because he's making an action movie. At the same time, I still think that even though his reaction is kind of a crazy one in the way that he does react, I would compare this to the, what was the reaction of Christian Bale, right? Christian Bale on the set of that Terminator movie that everyone freaked out about because they thought that he completely lost it and he was over the top with his reaction. They thought, man, he's really going to town and attacking these people or whatever. I actually feel that it was kind of warranted the way that he reacted because, you know, it's true. These are professionals, all right? These are people who put a lot of time, effort, and work into what they're doing, especially if they're producing the film. They're producing. It's not just that they're an actor in the film. They have a giant vested interest in this film doing well, okay? So they're really, you know, busting ass. Not only is he acting, but he's basically every aspect of production he's probably involved in. He's a producer. And now people fucking with that. right? Because they just want to be lazy. Because essentially that's what it is at this point. What else could it be? They're just being lazy. They're not following the strict guidelines they were given in order to be able to make this film. And yes, let's be honest, people right now are out of work, and to actually be able to work on a movie is probably a rarity. So I kind of understand where Tom is coming from here. I don't know if he needed to necessarily go on a 5-minute rant completely ripping his entire crew a new asshole. But then again, we weren't there. We don't actually know what happened. Were they actually standing around with no masks on, acting like fucking dickheads? You know, we don't know. So, again, it's hard to give a full perspective on this stuff when you don't actually know the actual situation of what happened. But it just sounds to me like someone was being an asshole, right? And if someone's being an asshole and they're putting everyone else at risk, call them out. It's your job. You're the one who, you're the reason, if you're the producer, you're the reason everyone's there. So fucking call them out and tell them to do your fucking jobs, right? Fair enough on that point, I guess. Then Golden Colts did another 90-bit cheer, says, soy milk good for you? I have no idea. I've never had soy milk. Never. Actually, I take that back. I think I did once or twice. It doesn't taste like real milk, if I'm remembering correctly. It was like much sweeter than real milk. Or was that? Now I can't remember if it was soy milk or almond milk that I had. Now I actually don't know. It might have actually been almond milk now that I'm thinking about it. So maybe it was almond milk. But it didn't taste like real milk to me. Like it had a similar consistency, but I remember it having a distinctly different flavor. So, okay. The first tip of the day came in from Adrenaline Dragon, who tipped me $1.30. He says, will Cyberpunk be high on your most disappointing games of 2020 countdown? Well, I don't know. I don't do them ahead of time. The thing is about my countdown, I wait until I feel that I have enough time to properly formulate an opinion on something before I'll do my awards, purposely, because I don't want to not factor in a game or not give a game a fair shake. You know, unlike some other game award shows that have already happened, despite the fact that games are still coming out this year, right? I actually wait till the end of the year to do my awards purposely. Now, I'm in the midst of the Cyberpunk playthrough. I've told you my honest opinions about the game so far. Will they change by the end of me playing the game? I don't know. Maybe the story gets so good further in that regardless of the fact that the game's full of bugs and I'm not in love with the gameplay, maybe I'll really like the game. I don't know. All right? We're going to find out. But I'm not going to tell you one way or another where a game's going to rank on a countdown or whatever until I actually legitimately play through that game, right? That's my take on it. Is it would be irresponsible of me to just pile on with everybody else and say, yeah, this is definitely going to be at the top of my list of bad games this year or whatever, until I get further in. I mean, I'm only I want to say I'm like 12 to 15 hours into the game at this point. So, you know, with that being said, I don't know. Well, let's look. Let's find out together as I play the game further. Let's see. All right, let's see how it goes. All right. Big Bad Buffoon cheers that I've been watching a lot of your old co-op videos with John and Howie. Was there any reason Howie isn't a part of Smart Guys like his commentary? Well, number one, Howie never really was interested in committing to consistently being a part of my content. Every once in a while, he would enjoy coming over and hanging out with John and I and doing some fun stuff. But he never really said, oh, I'm going to consistently be here, you know, on this day doing this or whatever. You know, for him, it was, if he could come by and he wanted to do something with an Olympic Games game, or if he wanted to come by one of the days when he knew that I was actually doing Street Fighter stuff, then he would. But John committed fully to weekly being a part of my content, which was admittedly, a big thing for him. He had to drive a ton. He lived in New York, and I lived in Connecticut. So, you know, we're talking, a big commitment, driving an hour to an hour and a half to get to my place every week, and sitting down and being a part of Smart Guys and being a part of the gameplay commentary. Um, so, yeah, it was a different situation entirely. It wasn't that Howard wasn't welcome. It was that he never would make a commitment. Like, every once in a while, if he wanted to do something, he would join in. But it was more of a, John was always gonna be part every week of the content, and then John was actually way more friendly with Howard than I was. I knew Howard through Street Fighter stuff, but I wasn't like hanging out with him outside of that while John was. So John would be like, "Oh, Howard's available today," and I told him we're doing this game. Let's have him come over. I'm like, okay, that's kind of how it was. It was always John who would get Howard usually involved in stuff. So, okay, Nose Vacuum Cheers. He said, "I hope you're good. Is there a way you could not burp into the mic?" No, it's not possible. Screen capping for Twitter did a 100-bit cheer and says, maybe the point of side content is to have fun. Does everything need to have a reward that makes the stat meter go up by a few points? I thought you were a gamer. Well, you see what I'm saying is meaningful side content could have different meaning to different people. What's meaningful? Well, it could be meaningful if you get an important weapon or experience points that lead to you succeeding in other parts of the game. Or it could be an important and interesting side story that actually adds to the overall enjoyment of the game. For example, with Witcher 3, I felt that almost every single major piece of side content had a fun story attached to it. It didn't necessarily mean you were going to make giant advancement in the game by doing it, but at least by doing it, you felt like you weren't wasting your time. I hate to say it, but at least half the side content I've done in Cyberpunk feels like I'm wasting my time. Go find this target or whatever. Okay, go to the area. Oh, it's a room full of generic baddies. Kill them all. Okay, you did it. Wow. What did I do that for? It was a waste of my time, right? Or like, I just did a side mission where you're supposed to get a piece of data for some woman that you had rescued previously in the game. So I go into a garage, I fight a bunch of dudes, I wander around the garage for 20 minutes, I can't find it. I finally find it. It's a little thing that doesn't even stand out and say that it is the important item you need. I give it to her. Did you read that? Did you read the log? No, I didn't. Okay, bye. And that's the end of the mission. And it never continues ever again. It's the end of it. What? Come to find out, if you read the log, you would get more backstory about, I guess she was, some kind of a secret hacker working for some kind of a anti-government thing or whatever. And I don't know if that would have led to any more missions in the game. But how the fuck was I supposed to know that I was supposed to go into my menu and randomly read this data file that she wanted you to get from a random garage? There's no way to know. And that's what I mean. Like, that's how the side content feels. It kind of feels like disappointing and frivolous. And the game itself is ambitious, but it seems to be too ambitious. Let's just jam so much content into the game. When there's too much to do, you don't know what's worth doing, nor do you know how to do it. And that seems to be the problem with Cyberpunk, is they tried to do too much, and because of that, it's all underwhelming or just doesn't work. At least that's my take. So it's not that, the side content's meaningless because it doesn't advance you in the game. It doesn't even really have a point. What did I do that for? I didn't get any additional fun story. I didn't get anything out of it. I just wasted a half an hour or an hour of my game for what? To do nothing. To waste my fucking time. That Indie Glow has resubscribed for 37 months. Thank you, That Indie Glow. Appreciate that. Big Bad Buffoon cheered. He said, what games are in the running for Christmas? I'd love to see Chippendales Rescue Rangers. I have no idea. I have not even looked at the nominations. This weekend, I'll be doing that. This weekend, I'll be looking at your nominations and narrowing them down and figuring out what games are viable for the event, so that at least I can work on getting them and have them for Wednesday. So, okay. Dead Dove 100 has tipped me $2, and that's the biggest tip of the day. He says, unfortunate about Cyberpunk. It's such a disappointment. Should have been one of the best games of the year. Ghost of Tsushima is the best game of the year to me. Yes, we'll see. I would say this. Until last month, Ghost of Tsushima was actually 100% my favorite game of the year. But then we got a slew of games that all came out in a short period of time. And, some of them I'm still currently playing. So it's hard for me to say at this point. But definitely Ghost of Tsushima was one of the better games this year. And yeah, it seems like the major games this year that were overhyped flopped. For me, anyway. The games with the most hype were some of the most disappointing, while the games that I really didn't have high expectations for ended up being really good. So, wow, excuse me, it's absolutely disgusting. Shadow the Hedgehog did a 500-bit cheer, and he says, do you miss golden games with quality like Prince of Persia 1989 DOS game with much love and care? What? Do I miss golden games with quality? I don't even know what you're saying there. Maybe what you're saying is, do I miss the day when AAA games were all, really outstanding and cream of the crop? Yes, I do. It's unfortunate in this modern era that even the biggest game studios, when they come out with their games, we don't know if they're going to be any good, and half the time they end up sucking. That's not good. It used to be you would know, okay, there's like 10 game studios that are absolutely AAA outstanding, and whenever they pump out a game, you know that game's going to be top-notch shit, and you don't have to worry about, oh no, if I buy it on day one, I'm going to be disappointed, I got to wait. But that's not the case anymore. I think everyone at this point, every single game developer is kind of under the microscope. All right, so Jadef, I already read out the part about the civil war between Taiwan and China. Thank you for that. A. Anderson 06 resub for 3 months and says, would you consider competing with Arnold Schwarzenegger in a deadlifting competition? No. I would lose. Nattlecog 1392 cheered. He says, I'm sorry that the brand new game won't well run on your 7-year-old console. None of this would be a problem if you had a PC, you console plebs. That's an awful thing to say, Nattlecog. This certainly is not that. Listen, hold on a second. It's the holiday season. Shame on you. You goddamn humbug Scrooge. Okay. Continuing on. Rob on Wheels did a 500-bit cheer. He said, how's your ear? My ear is much better, admittedly. It's still a little swollen on the inside. I still have very minor hearing loss, but most of the pain is now gone. This is day 5 of my medicine regimen. Usually around day 5 is actually when it gets much better, and it is. It actually has gotten much better overnight. So I expect by the end of today, it'll probably almost be 100%, and I still got today, tomorrow, and Friday. I got to put the medicine in. Hopefully everything will be good. Okay? Local Nomad did 100-bit cheers. So welcome back, Phil. I'm off to work. Have a good stream. Thank you, Local Nomad. You have a good day at work, I hope. Sirs Barton King cheers. So the film industry is definitely in upheaval. Studios are feeling betrayed by Warner Brothers' deal with HBO Max. The director of Dune slammed them because he thinks it deserves a theatrical release. Listen, it's like rocking a hard place. I don't know what to say because what theatrical release? Half the theaters aren't open, man. You know, what I could say is, all right, listen. You want to be upset? Be upset if in 6 to 8 months, all right, the vaccine has been spread throughout the world. People are immune to this thing at high numbers. You know, it's basically only as dangerous as the common flu at that point. And then theaters reopen, then complain. Right now, there's really not much you can complain about. Most of the theaters are closed, man. You know? I understand that movie makers, directors are upset. They should be. Their whole way of life is changing. But why are you going to blame Warner Brothers for that? They didn't fucking create the fucking virus. They're just trying to survive like everybody else. So I don't know about this. I don't know about these directors reacting this way. Duke Argos, oh god. Duke Argos did a 100-bit cheer and he says, personally, I feel that Cyberpunk is the Schindler's List of gaming. We're going to go back to that meme. Oh my god. Ronald Reagan, war veteran, cheered. He says, you're missing the Twitch live town hall. You can tell them about your DMCA issues you had over the summer. No, they're not going to listen to me, so I don't care. Then he cheered again. He says, is VR chat eligible for the Christmas marathon? No, no one plays VR chat anymore. Stanty Pants. Stanty Pants. Cheered and said, my game of the year is Hades. If it were up to me, I would want you to play that bad boy for a marathon. You should look into it. It's truly terrific. You know, I have heard a lot of people say Hades is a great game this year. So, if that's something you guys ever would be interested in seeing me check out and play, I would consider it. Seeing that so many people have really said the game is outstanding and I should check it out. Or not that I should check it out, but that gamers in general are saying it's a great game. Maybe I should check it out. It's up to you guys, though. Nose Vacuum Cheese, what would happen if you did pre-stream with your webcam on? The world would end, because here's what would happen. All right, ready? This would suck everyone in. This would become a vortex. Oh, by the way, I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm not gonna have this up for long. But this would become a vortex on the internet. You're like, are you watching? If you're watching on your phone, your screen, or if you're on a laptop, an actual black hole would open up and suck you inside of your device, completely discombobulating all your molecules. You don't want that to happen. You want to be combobulated for the holidays. So we can't have the webcam on for the whole pre-stream. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not possible. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's do shout-outs for the biggest cheers of the week so far. In 10th place, we've got... What? I can't even read that. A Linkerman? Okay, a Linkerman. In 9th place, we've got Ninstar Rune. In 8th place, Bubble Buddy. 7th place, Sir Spartan King. In 6th place, Golden Colts. 5th place, Rob on Wheels. He's actually tied with Shadow the Hedgehog, so congratulations, Rob on Wheels and Shadow, for being tied for 4. Lives for Souls in 3rd. Captain Caveman's in 2nd. And the Hated One is in 1st place. And so far, we have 2 people who gifted subs to the channel this week. Mandalorian Merc and Hell Knight 8719. So thank you guys for your support. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hold on. Big Bad Buffoon cheers. Speaking of VR chat, my local news a couple months ago had a man meet teen girls through VR chat. They went missing, and they were tied up in his basement. Isn't that crazy how bad things can happen during online games? It's very disturbing. Okay, let us now take a break. I got to use the restroom. When we come back, it's Cyberpunk continuing. I'm hoping to get some actual fun in the game today and not a buggy mess. I guess we'll see. At this point, I pretty much abandoned trying to do anything but just run in and shoot everything because that's the only thing that's really easily effective. I really don't care about the million other abilities that don't do anything. Sorry, that's just what's happened. Every time I've tried it, something didn't work right or something went against how I was planning on doing it. I want to hack the guy over there. Oh, it hacks the console in front of me instead. Well, fuck this game. So, I'm just going to run and shoot everything. Okay. Standing Pants cheered again. Says, sorry to be a pest. One more fun fact. The writer and producer of Hades is Greg Kazavin. You may remember worked at GameSpot in the 90s and 2000s. He stepped up in the industry, apparently. Oh, I don't know anything about Greg Kazavin. But that sounds awesome. Covering games versus actually making games. I'm sure this guy is really enjoying what he's doing. So, all right, guys. Break time. When I come back, it's time for Cyberpunk. See you in a few minutes.